Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. Sup, sister? Chatty Cathy over here.
I know. I'm always chatting when I'm not, when it's like, shh, you gotta be very quiet and then no laughing. As soon as you say no laughing, the laughter is going to burst forward no matter what. I should do that every day. No laughing. Because we know it's not going to be the case, right? Set myself up.
Yeah, I'm not the person to be next to in a serious situation because I'd be like, it won't go well.
I know. I'm telling you, I'm an adult and even going through massage school, if they said any words that were, just along the lines that were body oriented. We might be looking at a body map or something like that. And I was the adult, probably, probably like maybe the second or third person that was in there, the oldest in the room or whatever. And I would be laughing my butt off
Oh,
because that's I thought it was funny. I just thought it was hilarious. So what's going on? Let's see. I was sick last week, right?
yeah.
And I know we talked about talking or getting together and stuff like that. And it's like, because you'd set me up several dates that could work with my schedule, really. And I just didn't feel it. And I think this is a good topic to have because we're in winter, even though our weather doesn't always reflect that here in
Oh, today
Arizona.
it
But
did.
yes, it did. But it's recognizing things and being okay and honoring self. And it's like I wasn't feeling it, honestly. I felt disconnected. Not just I just didn't feel like I was connecting with my vibe and my stuff. I don't think I would have had anything. I don't think I would have had anything good to really say. Maybe I would have. I don't know. I never gave it the opportunity, but I just didn't. And you were so patient, so thank you. And I finally messaged you because I had seen some clients, but it's like when you go in, you're pretty much giving your all.
Yeah.
And it's at the end of the day, I was just tired. It's even when I picked up my grandson on Friday, I'm like, we're gonna take it easy, dude, because it's like I can't I just don't have that kind of energy right now. And it's just I had to honor my body. And it's like it's okay for us to get sick. People get all panicky and stuff like that. It's like this is wintertime. This is a time of purging and stuff like this, time of rest. So it's like the perfect opportunity for things to come up in your body to come out. And it needed to come out. I had coughing and sneezing, the constant the nose thing going on. And it's like, but perspectively, I knew it was because I was releasing stuff because I have desires and goals that where I want to be at. And in order for that to happen, that I had to allow my body facilitate the space for it. My calendar had already facilitated space for it. I didn't even know. I had no clue, no clue. But so it's awesome. It's just awesome when these things kind of play out like that. So
Nice.
message for today: honor your freaking body. Okay,
Yeah. And it's okay to do that.
it is, but we think it's not because I grew up in a time frame that it was not okay.
Right.
If you didn't have a fever and you weren't vomiting or anything like that, your butt goes to school.
Yeah.
That's just the way it was. And I raised my kids the same way. Now, if I was raising my grandkids, that would not be the case. I'm just telling you because why? Because we're teaching them not to honor their body. I was taught not to honor my body. So therefore, I taught my children not to honor their body. When they weren't feeling good, they should have just stayed home. But it was not always convenient for a working mom. It just wasn't.
Right. And what do we do when there's an issue with our vehicle? We take it to the mechanic and it's going to
True.
be down however long it's going to be down and it's going to cost however much it's going to cost.
It's true.
But we don't do that for ourselves.
No, we just push ourselves and keep pushing ourselves. Go grab another coffee or go grab a sports drink or whatever just to fill up that tank
Boy.
to push you more. And then you're like wondering why you're so depleted at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, I'm healed, but a lot of the people that I know that have had all this stuff, I mean, I went on antibiotics too, just to be, I mean, let's be real, but it was beneficial for me to do that. And I have other people that's like they're still dealing with it and stuff
Yeah.
weeks later. So it's like I did what I needed to do,
Yeah.
and it was what was right for me.
Yeah. And everything was working out fine. So,
Yeah,
because believe me, my time got filled up with things I needed to take care of too. So I was like, okay, well, and then when I text you, I'm like, okay, well, here's our options for a Thursday. And I was okay with that. I was like, well,
yeah.
we can share a video that has high views because apparently that meant something to a lot of people. So maybe more people need to see it. I could just do it by myself, which I've done before, not a big deal. So there was no panic mode. There was just
No.
it's going to work out however it's supposed to work out. Now, when we get off, because we do post on Thursdays typically. When we get done recording, then I'll go and do that part, make sure it gets posted Thursday. So it's just it's leaning more into divine timing, and everything's okay as it needs to be.
It's true.
So since you're talking about the body, this is really interesting for me today. I'm teaching for the COJET program here in town, and I did my one class today, and I had to teach another one tomorrow. But I got up today, and it's not that I didn't have a headache. I'm not sick. I'm not catching a cold, nothing like that. I just had some head pressure. You know, you just want to close your eyes and just be like, just leave me alone right now. I just want to stay here. So, but I went ahead, got up, went to work. Just chill. I was not rushing, nothing for nobody. And I went and taught this class. Well, interesting enough, and I've said this before, that when I am teaching or coaching, having conversations where I'm giving guidance, I listen, right? What am I saying to this person? Because whatever this person is hearing, probably, how is it affecting me as well? How is it showing up in my life too? So I was talking about the body and how stress affects the body. Then we go get a prescription and it covers it up. And then we have side effects and we don't listen to our body. So I just taught about this today. And this whole time I was doing it, I'm like, I was very chill. Typically I get pretty animated. If you've watched our videos before for the, like you see me, I get all animated. My hands are going, and most of the time my hands were in my pocket. I was just calm because I was trying to maintain my thought process with this pressure that was happening. And it wasn't like extreme, but it was just enough to be like, man, I just want to go sit down and close my eyes. So I was talking about how in the past, in my history, that I was always in my head about pretty much how worthless I was, what I shouldn't be here on this planet. How can I take my life? People would be better off if I was there. Like, I'm talking about this stuff. And I was telling them that every day, or I carried a bottle of Tylenol and Excedrin in my purse. And every day I was taking those pills every day because I'd get a headache every single day. And then when I was learning about being in the head and overthinking and being caught up and wrapped up in the not good enough stories and all that stuff, replaying the past over and over and over, and the fear of the future and all the things, I said, you'll have headaches. But I didn't equate it, what I was experiencing, to a headache, because it wasn't a headache. So I heard myself say it, and I'm like, okay. And I already knew. I know that there's something going on in me, and haven't made the connection yet. But here I am talking about headaches in the body and all that stuff, and that was all good. So I get done with the class, and I'm driving. I came to my house just around the corner, and I came to my house, and from the building where I was to my house, I was like, oh, I've been focused on how much stuff I have going on, all the pieces, all the things. And I keep, I'm going to use these words, but it doesn't feel good to use these words in this sense, but it's a blessing and a curse. All this stuff coming. Yeah. It's like all this stuff coming to me, that of creativity, of, okay, we're going to do this. And then you could do this, this, and this. And well, this, and this takes more time, more energy, more effort, more planning, more, when I already have a whole nother this, and this to take care of. And then the organization I'm in, and working full time, and the house, and the pressure building. So it wasn't a headache of the way it used to be for me. It was just thinking about all the things that are on my list to do, and then even more stuff coming to me of getting it set up and all that. And then so just pressure. It was pressure. And so I was feeling the pressure because I've been thinking about it. And so it was just, it's been great to learn how to make those connections between what am I doing, what am I how am I perceiving life and the things going on, and how my body reacts to it. So it was great, and you know it went away. It took
Yeah.
a little bit. It lingered for a little bit after I realized it, but as of right now, it's gone. So, and I didn't take
Yeah.
anything for it. So,
Nice. So like a self-imposed pressure, right? We put
yep,
pressure on ourselves
yep,
to perform.
yep.
And I get it. I hear you. I mean,
And
I can't even say that I get it because I don't have your schedule. I don't.
yeah,
I don't. It's not, I'm not a, I, that would, that's, I don't feel thriving in that environment for myself at this
yeah,
time.
yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing. Nobody is pressuring me to do it.
No, no,
I
it's just
am.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that clear. Like nobody out here is pressuring me to do any of it. It's just all this stuff that's flowing to me to an opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was so fascinating.
And to me, it's kind of divine when you think about a lot of this stuff because I have a lot of stuff I feel like that's been coming up. It's like silly. I call that kind of stuff is seems kind of silly because it's so obvious to us. But when we get busy doing our other things, we don't stop to we have time to. We don't take the time to stop and kind of evaluate why am I feeling these ways? Why was I feeling sick? You know, why was I doing all this stuff? And we just don't do it. And it's okay. It's okay, but it's a learning thing. And we're in a 9 year, right? It's a 9 year for everybody. So this is like completions of things. Old habits coming to an end. If you're so, if you're ready to move on beyond a lot of that stuff, and I kind of am. You see, when I go to bed at night, I'm asking my team to come in and it's like, let's work through stuff that, seems to be in my energy centers or whatever that might be a block or holding me back or how am I holding myself back? And it's like the craziest thing. Like I can't even give you the examples, but it's like when we start asking for things like that for me, it's happening, but we're already in that 9 years. So it's like I already know that there's a process that's happening right now, which is wonderful. I think it's wonderful. I really do. I would rather move forward without a lot of this stuff. And it's really taking the time because it's wintertime to reflect on where we're at, how far we've come. And it's like you don't recognize some of your behaviors are gone until you start recognizing, like, wait a minute, I don't feel this way anymore that I was feeling before. And it's such a relief. It is such, and I can't put it all into words of all the things that I've experienced because it's my own personal journey. And everybody's got to go on their personal journey, but it's actually wonderful amidst some days that are kind of poopy, really, because it feels like, especially when you're on this journey like this, you feel like you should always be in that contact of stuff. And we could be, but I'm not at that space yet. So I catch myself falling backwards a little bit into some of the falling backwards in the mud again, right? Getting all dirty again. But I don't stay there very long. I can hose off pretty quick and move on. But it's like it's some days it feels that way. But it's also recognizing my own self-sabotage, my lack of self-confidence in things. I have a lot higher confidence, self-confidence now, but I still catch myself looking into myself and I might catch myself judging myself or not feeling like I'm good enough. The other day I was going to town. I was wearing yesterday, I think it was. I was wearing sweats. Normally I would never go out in public the way I went out. But it's like, who cares? Who cares? Who if someone's not going to like me because of the way I'm dressed right now, that's not my problem. It's not. So we get into that worry thing. That was an old pattern. That was something I learned from my mom. So it's like it's just all these things. I recognize how hard I've been on myself in the past, expecting myself to be a certain way. Although I've learned the tools now, and if I was to be in that same experiences, probably in most of my life, I would have done some things differently because I'm in a different space. But it's like I'm honoring those because guess what? I had those experiences for a reason because they were that's those were the tools that I got. Those were the role models that were around me. You learn how to act and be in this world by the people that are around you until you start, until I get to the point where I'm tired of acting the way that I was acting. I'm tired of that. And then I beat myself up for like 4 years since Jim died, all the stuff that I could have done differently. And it's like, I could not have done anything differently at that time because I did not have the tools that I have right now.
Right.
So I've come to peace with this. And that's so again, we're in the 9 year, closing out things. It's an ending of that behavior. I did the best that I could. Thank you, Jim, for showing up and being with me, even though I can, it's so nice to be able to see yourself and reflect upon yourself and not be so defensive. And that's another thing I've noticed that's a lot it's like the wind out of the set. Like it's such a peaceful feeling to not be in that space. And that's what my goal has been. But it's like to be that defensive person. I don't have to be that way. That means that I've got to protect myself. Protect myself from what? I don't have anything to fear. There's nothing to fear. What am I going to do? Die? So we don't really die. I'm just going to dip out of the body someday. It's going to be a long time probably, but
Yeah.
it's like all these things that go through our heads and stuff like that and our motivations, and we don't even realize we're doing it until we stop to analyze it, stop to take a look at it, stop to take a look at yourself. And it's like, my question for myself in the last couple of days is how can I fall in love with myself? Not from an egoic standpoint, not from that I'm better than anybody else, but love me no matter what. Love me no matter if I've got makeup on, if I don't do my hair, if I'm dressed up or I'm not dressed up. Like, love me if I say something that might have been out of turn, but it's like, that's us second guessing ourselves. And really, if we realize everything's divine. If we said something on accident, it was never an accident. When I'm journaling these days, I call it journaling, but it's channeling. When I'm doing it these days, I'll catch myself writing something else. I'm talking to Jesus the other day, and then I'm writing down the information that I'm receiving, second guessing myself still when I'm doing this stuff. And then all of a sudden I start writing out the word God. It's like, you cannot make that stuff up. It's like, it's not, it was not, I wasn't doing, it was so weird because it's like that one little second, that one little blip caught me, I wasn't paying attention and all of a sudden I'm writing something else than my mind was thinking it should be. So it's just listening and it's just doing it anyways. Even if you think that you're not, that it's not real or whatever, it's still setting the intentions. It's still me moving forward. So every morning I journal, I meditate. Every night I meditate. If I have time in the middle of a day, I meditate. I'm doing all kinds of different meditations. I'm trying everything that I would never have done before. Kriya yoga meditation. I'm going to try out this yoga nidra meditation, or it's called I something. Like I wrote it down somewhere, but it's just all this new stuff, and it's like, why not? Because we need to explore all these things so we can figure out what do we like.
Yeah. And what if it works? Oh my God.
What if it works? There's an incentive there because when you have an experience with a yoga, the Kriya yoga, because I've been reading the autobiography of a yogi. I have not been reading it. I've been listening to it. So let me clarify. I've been listening to it and I find it fascinating. There's some areas in there that might be a little bit, it probably would be better if I had the book to look at it, to explore some of it, but I'm listening to it. and that's what he started talking about, the Kriya yoga, that we need this. And it's such a short amount of time to do it. So I would have people take a look at it, see what you feel. But for me, sitting in your lotus position and you're facing the east, when you're having this experience, I started feeling a vibration in my legs coming up my body. So it's like there's an incentive for me. So for me, I kind of need that motivation. So now when I go into meditation, I'm setting my intentions like, team, I need, help me receive some sort of an incentive so I keep going with this. So it becomes my practice, not to be in a space of addicted to it, but to be in a space of the world's kind of, the energies that are around us, it feels kind of chaotic and anxious. There's a lot of different things I've been noticing lately. That the best way that I can handle all that stuff, if I didn't have meditation, if I didn't start it at the end of last year, I would be in some deep doo-doo right now. I'm just telling you, because I could feel it.
Yeah.
I could feel it. And so now I have an escape when that starts happening to me. But I'm also recognizing we've been so tuned in to everybody since we were children around us that I don't put so much attention into my own energy. So I keep calling back my energy. I keep calling on Archangel Michael, like surround me. And I learned that from you. But I ask him to surround me and help me to maintain and uplift my own energy. I just want to feel my own energy. Or I'll say, I just want to feel the energy of God today. That's all I want to feel. Because it doesn't do me any good, typically, to feel anybody else's energy. It doesn't. But it's almost invasive if you think about it. But we've been trained that way since children. And so now it's time for, what about this person right here, me? And so it's really just taking that time to feel, what does that feel like?
But I recognized when I was teaching today, because I was talking about also the topic of anger and having all of that in me at my younger days. And what I've recognized, because I thought about that too later, I said, okay, thinking to myself, when was the last time I was angry? I couldn't come up with anything. I don't know. I don't know last time I was actually like angry. And what I do know for me is I don't get angry about things, because that was a story that attached to, I was angry more at myself because I wasn't living up to the perfectionism or the good enough story or all that. So I would get angry because I wasn't meeting my own expectations of what I thought other people wanted. And so now it's like there's no anger button to push, but I do get frustrated and irritated. And so that's kind of my next step. Okay, I'm recognizing that when this person does this, I get frustrated. I don't get angry, or I get irritated or annoyed, right? So it's just like another step of looking at it, going, okay, well, when this happens, this is how I react. Got it. Note taken. I'll work on it, because I know there'll be plenty of opportunity to practice. What I also noticed today was, by having that pressure, I could feel the sense of deep calmness in my body. I was so calm today. It was very interesting for most of the day. Even though I had this pressure going on, I was just super calm. And when there were things going on at work this afternoon, typically I would get right in there, whatever it was, right? They're doing something or conversations going on, like I'm in there and I'm contributing. And it's like, I had no desire. It was I'm sitting there this whole time just observing myself going, okay, we're keeping our mouth shut today and not overly involved type of thing. And then as you're talking just now, you said listen, listen, listen. I'm like, oh, is that the message now? I'm going to go back to what I would call my roots, because my roots are being an introvert, and introverts are really good listeners. We don't speak up. We're not the center of attention. We're not doing any of that because we don't want the tension on us. So listen, let's just pull back a little bit and do more listening. And I know I'm a really good listener. I know that about myself. But maybe I've been doing too much talking for a while. And now it's time to just pull it back and just more in that observing and listening mode. Every time you said it, listen, I was like, I hear you.
You're so funny.
I heard it the first time. I got it the first time, actually. Very first time you said listen, I was like, that was it. That was a piece of today. I know it.
Nice.
So we'll see how that goes. Cause now that I can use my voice, I like using my voice. And so, so yeah, it's been a very, very interesting, um, intriguing introspection type of day because I had some head pressure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because it facilitated something else. That's why there's a perfection there.
Yeah.
It's all perfect. It's so perfect because it helps us on the other side of that. And I'll tell you, with the listening, I hear things around when I hear people having conversations. I'm hearing other things that aren't even being said. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. It really is. You know, anybody out there that wants to do any of the psychic work or mediumship, not even do the work really, but to recognize how you have it, first you got to listen because it's always been there. And it's like it's a valuable tool even for your own personal guidance in your daily activities. Taking out your wardrobe, like not knowing what to do, even for your classes, like and I know you do a lot of stuff, but you can rely on spirit, like what are we going to talk about today? Or what do these people need to hear today? These particular people that are in the space, because we could have a whole plan of things how we think they should be, and it could turn out to be something totally different. And
That's
then it
exactly
changes
what I
their whole
said.
life. Yeah. And you still
Exactly.
fly by the seat of your pants now that you didn't, you know what I mean? You've got such a tool house that it's like the conversations can go any direction and you can still manage it.
Yeah. It's exactly because I had notes and I pretty much just set them aside and I introduced myself and this is what I do. And, um, I'm here for you. I could stand up because I had an hour and a half today to talk and teach. And I was like, I could talk for the next hour and a half about all of this, but if you're not interested, there's no point in me talking about it. So I'm here for you. Why are you here in this room? You tell me what you showed up for. What do you need help with?
Yeah. What were
That's
you
how I
expecting
started
when you
it.
came? That's awesome. I
Yeah.
like it.
So so yeah, and it's definitely when Bev talking about listening, if psychic is not in your wheelhouse, if you've been listening to us for a while, it probably is, but if you're new, if psychic isn't in your wheelhouse right now of understanding, then just use intuition. You know what your intuition is. It's that gut feeling, it's that mother's intuition, it's that knowingness. Psychic intuition, same, just
Yeah.
it's differently received by the society and who you're speaking to. So if the word intuition feels better to you, then use that. So when you're listening, you enhance that ability of your intuition
Yeah.
and utilizing that more for our life, which is it's a tool that we have to help us navigate life. And so if you got anything out of this and that was it, that's great. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening this long to get that piece of information.
You're welcome.
That's right. And cha-ching.
And it's also
Bada
those
bing.
your spidey senses, when you have people because I have people that have been police officers and,
Yeah.
that type of environment. It's your spidey senses. It's something, it's just something innately, and there's some things that are inexplicable, there are, you can't, there's just things that you just don't, you've had experience of these knowings and stuff. And it's like it's all connected,
Yeah.
all of it, whatever you want to call it.
And it's an amazing tool to have. And it's part of you, whether you like it or not, just saying.
Yeah, because it can keep you alive. It can keep you alive. It can keep you to the next. It can keep you in a blissful state if you choose to follow that. And I'm learning. I'm still learning to, navigate through and figure out I don't have to do it. It's just listening because they'll guide you for everything. Just what I've been being told. They'll guide you through they will guide you through everything, Bev.
Are you listening?
You don't have to do this all by yourself. We've been here all
The
along.
whole time.
The whole
Waiting,
time,
rolling our eyes, waiting.
patiently standing by.
Yes, and they do. They're so patient. All right, my friends. So we hope you got something out of this if you listened this long, and you must have, because there was some good information there. But listen to your body, embrace your body, honor your body as we started out, and know it's okay. Know, K-N-O-W, know that it is okay, and give yourself permission to be in that space of honoring yourself. So with that, have these conversations with your friends, family, coworkers, somebody in the grocery line. Somebody's got to hear this information too. If it's helping you, share it. Be resourceful. Just share the links, share the content. If you're not comfortable having the conversations themselves, we can always be resourceful. We always recommend a movie or a series or a book where you can recommend other podcasts too. And so all podcasters and teachers, we appreciate anything that you do to help spread the teachings of or conversations. And you can find us on many platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Podcast Addict, YouTube. So we're in many or multiple platforms. And so it's be pretty easy to find us. Amy and Bev community. And then there we are. So
there we are.
Any final words, sis?
I want you to know that you matter. Everybody that's listening to this, you matter as well. But we all matter. All of us, we were meant to be here. We all have a purpose. There's something amazing about us. And it's not just one purpose, it's many things.
Yeah.
And if you feel lost and you're struggling, contact us.
Yeah. And you can leave questions and comments in the comments section, and we come back to those. We'll answer them. We are not an immediate answer, but we will get to it. And then if you have any suggestions of what you would like us to talk about, we are also open to that. So it's an open line of communication there to hear from you, from the audience. All right, then that's a wrap. Thanks for hanging out with Amy, I don't know why I pointed to you, Amy and Bev. Tea time with Amy and Bev, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.